All right, hello everyone. We're in probably our second to last week of technical math. Chapter 10 is really our last chapter we're going to cover, and if you've been keeping up, great, keep it going. You're not too far from being done. Basically, we've got 2 weeks left. This week we're going to talk about special types of right triangles, and then next week we're going to do a little bit of trigonometry, sine, cosine, and tangent. So as difficult as those may sound, or if you've worked those before in geometry class, you can use some of that prior knowledge even if you don't remember it, and we're going to reinforce that, and trust me, you'll have no problem with these. So chapter 10, section 1, we're talking about angles and triangles, and mainly I'm going to skip some stuff here with angles and go right to the triangles. But basically this last chapter deals, or excuse me, getting too ahead of myself, so we're basically not going to worry about number 66, finding arc length and sector length because of us not being in school, but what we are going to look at is 67. We're going to look at the special relationships, or relationships in special right triangles. We're going to look at 45, 45, 90, 30, 60, 90, and 3, 4, 5 triangles, because they show up a lot on in the trade occupations, especially if you fabricate stuff, if you're working with construction, welding, diesel technology, manufacturing. There's a lot of triangles you work with that have, the right triangles have a 90-degree angle, plus they have either a 45-degree angle, a 38-degree angle, or a 60-degree angle. And then 68, we're going to look at a real-life problem. One that's not just, here's a triangle, let's work it. It's one that you'll see, I think it's a plumbing problem. Okay? So the word trigonometry scares a lot of people, but really it just means triangle measurement. It's the study of triangles. Okay? Dates back to 140 BC and Greek mathematicians. And actually the Egyptians were probably the best at using trigonometry, and you see that with the way they constructed the pyramids, and a lot of the things they made, ladies and gentlemen, dealt with trigonometry. They were really experts at it. So in this chapter we'll look at only simple practical trigonometry. We use numbers of various trade applications, including those relating to metalworking, sheet metal, machine tool trades, construction, and so forth, plumbing. So we're going to skip over these angle problems, and go right to this. We're going to look at the study of right triangles. Now, trigonometry is a study of all triangles, but we're just going to look at right triangle trigonometry. And basically what that means is we're looking at triangles with a single right angle in it. Okay? And as you know, we've talked about this before, and but you may not remember, you've probably seen this in geometry. In a right triangle, you have your right angle, and then opposite of that right angle is the longest side on the triangle, and that is your hypotenuse. Now the two shorter sides are called the legs. In a 45-degree, 45-degree, 90-degree triangle, the two legs are the same length. But in all other triangles, you basically have a short leg, and then you have a long leg. The short leg, the one in red here, is always opposite the shorter, or I should say shorter, the smaller of the two non-right angles. So as you can see, angle C is opposite side AB here in red, so that angle is going to be smaller than angle A, which is opposite the vertical leg here, CB. So angle A in black is larger than angle C in red, and then you've got your 90-degree angle in green, and you have your longest side here, the hypotenuse opposite the right angle. Okay? All right, now, what I'm going to have you do online, I went ahead and put on a quick review paper of the Pythagorean theorem. You can look at that, do a couple problems if you need to. But all that the Pythagorean theorem says, and we've dealt with this before in this class, and you've dealt with it in geometry, is that the two legs squared, the two lengths of the two legs squared, added together equals the length of the hypotenuse squared, the longest side. Okay? Used to find any missing side in a right triangle. Again, I've put a worksheet online with an answer key. I think it's called a review of the Pythagorean theorem. There's 4 or 5 problems on there. You can do 1, you can do 2, 3, you can do them all. If you feel like you understand this, you may not have to do any of them. Okay? But the Pythagorean theorem is important in dealing with trigonometry. Now, here are our three, what we call special, I know you can't see them, I'm making the air quotes, special right triangles. There are three of them. Show up a lot in, like I said, manufacturing, construction, anything that you have to make something or measure something. The first one's called the 45, 45, 90 triangles because it has a 45 degree, 45 degree, and then a right angle. So it's called a 45, 45, 90 triangle. Okay? The next one's called a 30, 60, 90 right triangle. And then finally, this last one is not named by its angles, it's named by its side. And the reason it is because it's a small, in whole numbers, it has the sides, the smallest sides that you can put together to form a right triangle. It's called a 3, 4, 5 triangle. And we'll talk about that later on. So that's going to be the end of this video, this introduction to trigonometry. And in the next videos, we're going to go through each one of these triangles and show you the relationships between the sides and the angles that you have to know. And then finally look at some problems. Okay?